My dad promised me a happy family with his new wife, but she made my life hell and he didn't care about it until I left him, and now he wants me back. I, a 21-year-old male, lost my mom when I was still a baby, and my dad didn't date anyone until I was around 9. Then he met his wife, Lindsay. She was a single mom to 2 kids. Both her kids had different fathers and weren't around. Her oldest was 11, and her youngest was 6. Her youngest was special needs and medically complex. My dad and Lindsay rushed their relationship because she didn't have much free time, and she wanted help, and dad was willing. A really brief TLDR, my dad kept me in a bad situation. His wife's youngest took up a lot of money and space, and with all the extra needs, and her oldest was angry and violent and lashed out and drank and did substances. I had a curtained off space, not a bedroom with a door and not a real bed. I went 6 weeks without seeing my dad while I lived there once. He told me she came first when I asked him to leave, and his marriage and happiness would always be first. I left at 17 and didn't look back, and now he wants to reconcile. But I said no because I deserve to be happy too. I know it wasn't her son's fault. Her son was the 6-year-old. But he was a lot of work, and I resented it from the start. Dad told me good people help family, and they don't pass up love and family just because it'll be more difficult or more work. And he told me that he deserved to be happy, and Lindsay made him happy, and that my mom was his first chance, and he lost her, so Lindsay was his second chance. He told me I could benefit so much from being a caring brother to Lindsay's son and would learn a lot about real life. Money was extremely tight, and the house had so much medical equipment and mobility stuff for Lindsay's son. I didn't even get an actual bedroom. I was shoved behind a curtain where the office had been before Dad and I moved in. The timeline was like this. May, Dad and Lindsay meet. September, they introduce all of us to each other. November, we all move in together. February, Dad and Lindsay are married. A few months after Dad and I moved in, Lindsay's daughter, aka the oldest, started acting out. She smashed up some of her half-brother's medical equipment, she stole money, she started sneaking out late at night, and she got drunk a few times. She started taking substances. She pushed me around if I was in her way. There were nights I couldn't sleep until 1 or 2 in the morning because I could hear Lindsay and her daughter fight, and the daughter would say she wished her half-brother would pass away and they could move on. Lindsay would get hysterical about it, and her daughter would say he wasn't her real brother anyway and he was just a burden. I begged my dad to leave and let it be the 2 of us again, but he said we couldn't walk out. We committed. We were more than just the 2 of us now. I told him I didn't want any of them, and I hated how much life had changed. He told me life always changed, and I needed to get on top of my feelings and accept that he needed to be happy and deserved to save his marriage. He told me his marriage was the most important thing and that it had to be to provide me with stability. Even when Lindsay's daughter kicked me out of my room and bed, and would literally drag me by the hair or legs to get me out, Dad stayed. When I was 13, I went 6 weeks without seeing my dad because Lindsay's son was in the hospital, and she stayed the whole time, which meant if Dad wasn't at work, he was with her, and all I got was a note telling me to go to friends' houses if there was no food. Those 6 weeks were hell because every time I saw Lindsay's daughter, she would curse at me and shove me around and made it so I really didn't feel okay outside of my curtain. Nothing got better, and after I turned 15, Lindsay started asking me to help more with chores and errands, and she expected me to be her little helper, and when I said no, Dad told me I didn't get to disrespect my new mom. That led to a fight, and I exploded and told him to leave me alone because she would never be my mom, and nothing good came from them being